Hello and welcome to All the Pies. My name's Si, that is Kev, and this is the Newcastle versus Man U preview for this Sunday.
It is.
God, he scored so many goals.
He scored so many goals indeed,
He
Kevin.
did. He did score so many goals, didn't he?
Definitely.
Before we get started, Si,
Mhm.
I see you've had your handyman in.
Yeah, I have.
slight change in your surroundings here.
Yeah, what I said to him was I'd like a room to look like it did in the 90s, but I'd also like you to move my bedroom so that it's facing Meadowell Metro, but in the olden days when it used to be called Smith's Park. So that's what you
Yeah.
can see outside the curtain. Two little young fellas there graffitiing Smith's Park Metro before it was Meadowell. So
Oh, it's graffiti. I didn't know if there was some sort of lewd sex act going on. It looks like he's one of
no,
them sniffing the other one's bum.
no, that graffitiing, mate.
A couple of the things I noticed in there, you've
Mhm.
got a nice little bass generator record,
I
no
have.
less.
Yeah, down there. Bass generator. Yeah.
Uh-huh. In your spliffy. Oh, your CD rack. What's in your CD rack? What classics have you got in there?
It wouldn't have been CDs. It would have been cassettes back then,
Right,
probably. I
right.
might have had a couple of CDs, couple of probably Bonkers,
Bonkers.
Hixie, Sharky, that, and then the rest would have been like After Dark CDs, After Dark cassettes.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was called New Monkey, there would have been some NWA, Public Enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest would have been Rave, Resurrection, Carl Cox, all that carry on.
Bit off the topic of football, but
Uh-huh.
interested to know what was the first CD you bought? Can you remember?
It was first CD. I don't know because I'm old, so I bought records before I bought CDs. I can tell you the first single I ever bought.
Aye.
It was on record. It was TURTLE Power.
Oh yeah, from
Yeah,
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
yeah. I was going to say Hero Turtles, but it was called Ninja Turtles, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cartoon that was called Hero in this country because apparently the woke brigade back in the day thought using the word ninja would make this country turn into an episode of Monkey, and everyone would be like, wah, wah, and
Aye.
brain everybody. But yeah,
So they opted for Hero.
opted for Hero instead.
My first one was the single of, I can't remember who sang it now, but Another Night. Remember that?
Another night, another
That's the
dream.
one.
Always you.
I was
Back
with
up
my
here.
nana, and we bought it from a car boot sale. I think it was about 20 pence or something like that.
Excellent.
And I played it on repeat for about 3 months.
Excellent. You
Aye.
see now white? I've got a green screen now, everyone, but it's not
It's
properly.
not your bedroom.
I haven't know. I know magic of technology, mate. I haven't got the lighting properly set up. I've just got like a lamp pointing down, and it's just showing off just how fucking like Casper the Friendly Ghost I am. Just proper albino white, and me ginger showing up my beard. I'm gonna have to get this dyed before we do our next video. Like,
It's not a fashion show, Simon. It's not a beauty pageant.
oh, I know, but how it's a bit, it is a bit much in it. The ginger and the white and the extreme light and look like a pregnant goldfish, you know, and you can see through and you can see that belly and that internal organs. Is what I look like.
So I think you look very, very mediocre.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I hope everyone likes the new layout. It will continue to get better and better. I hope you like my little intro. Play it one more time just for everyone.
God, he scored so many goals.
Huge fan.
Never fails to put a smile on my face. That.
Shout out to my wife for doing the animations. Much respect to her. And she had some lovely like cheering and music and that in, but I replaced it with oh god, he scored so many goals because I find that one of the most funniest clips ever. But
It is. It
yeah,
is. It is. How you keeping in your cell? Are you all right?
I always feel like shit. Got a bit of a sore throat, a bit of a cold, got toothache. I'm waiting for an emergency scan on my back, which was meant to be done a fortnight ago. But that's the NHS, isn't it?
Been under the weather myself. Got a cold flu. I've been on the old capsules, which have helped a
Oh.
little bit for this video. But I tell you what,
What?
I missed the last video. What a stonker that was! Brilliant.
What?
Willie.
Willie, he was good, wasn't he? Good guest.
Aye.
His
Yeah.
knowledge of football between 1988 and 1995 is like unparalleled. He's just an encyclopedia of late 80s, early 90s football. Like it's
Really-
like a photographic memory. He knows everything about it. So
Really impressive. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. It's funny and knowledgeable in perfect balance. It was really good to see that. I was gutted I couldn't be on it, work commitments, but yeah, maybe you don't know, maybe you'll end up with my job.
yeah, and also shout out to Mark for his video, also, which done really well on the channel. And speaking of which, I've got me like professional. I wrote it on like a little ripped envelope, so I can be like a Ninja Turtle.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, I want to say shout out. This is to all the people, because we're obviously a relatively new channel still. Like we've been going 6 weeks. We're almost we're 8 off 500 subscribers, which I'm kind of pleased about for such early days. I want to shout out all the people who've been supporting the channel, pushing the channel, commenting. So I've got a little list here. Paul Robson on Twitter, shout out to you for always pushing it out on and tweeting about with. Thank you very much, pal. David Hutchie always comments. Thank you to you. Nellis G, another regular commenter. We've got Gaz, we've got Arison, we've got Jack Muir, and the most active guy. He comments on every single video. Shout out to him. It's Richard Cardy. Thank you very much, all yous. We will remember you if ever the channel takes off. He's our first little loyal bunch of what should we call what supporters, pie heads or something. I don't know.
Aye, pie heads. Aye, I like that.
Little mugs.
Pie heads. We'll go with
Shout
pie
out
heads.
all the little mugs supporting the channel. Yes, very much.
And
one
everybody
more
else
thing-
that's subscribed as well. Everybody else
Yeah.
that's subscribed. Obviously, we don't get a list of names, but yeah, thank you to everyone.
Yeah, and all the bigger channels, there's been quite a few in touch who've reached out to. We're going to get a few of them on. Thank you to all of them for their support as well. So everyone's just being proper cushy in that, proper wicked. So thank you. One little bit I want to mention before we move on with the actual preview is that on the 31st minute, this Sunday, Man U game, there's going to be applause going around on the 31st minute for a young lad who sadly passed away, aged only 31. He was a friend of Matty from the Magpie channel. So he's trying to get an applause going around on the 31st minute inside the stadium. So if you notice people starting clapping around you on the half-hour mark, if you could please do the same, just to show your support for a fella Toon fan who sadly lost his life at a very young age. That'll be wicked, and I'm sure his family and friends would really appreciate it.
Yeah, rest in peace to him.
Yep, cool. Right, we're going to get into the football, mate.
Aye, yeah.
Right,
No
well,
more of that shitty international stuff, but back to the real thing.
Oh, God, I know. Thank Christ for that. Look, mate, look at how professional I'm going to be. Wait there. See if I can do this properly.
Smooth.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
so
I was a bit worried for a second there. I didn't know
who this is. But yeah, straight away we'll start off with the team news. So as we've got here on the Metro website, which is so annoying with our pop-ups and stuff like that, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. It's annoying as hell. But yeah, Nick Pope, Sven Botman, ASM, and Callum Wilson have all trained and are expected to be involved at some point at St James's Park on Sunday against, I'm not reading that out, the scumbag, I'm not reading the Red Devils. Anyway, the fears over Pope. Obviously, we all knew that he pulled out at national duty. Botman, apparently there was a sickness bug going around off a dodgy chicken curry.
Right.
Aye, but apparently he's been training. Maxi obviously was taken off half time at Forest. He's trained. Wilson's trained. the ones that were apparently Gordon, according to the Metro, it says Gordon isn't back in training, but I read somewhere else that he's fit, so I don't know. I don't know for sure.
I mean, would he starting anyways? I know Eddie Howe isn't really one for when somebody's come back from an injury, just throwing them straight into the team.
Yeah.
He normally likes to give them a few minutes at the end just to have a look at them, really. So I think even if he wasn't training, I don't think he would have started him in any ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wilson, well, you just never know, because whenever he comes back from injury, sometimes he doesn't hit full power straight away. And the way Isaac's been playing, I don't think it would make a great deal of difference in terms of the starting lineup.
Yeah, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't at all. Miggy, obviously, we heard that Miggy wasn't going to be fit back until late April, but there's been something going on Twitter. You never know what to believe, but apparently someone saw him at the airport and asked him if he was fit. I've seen the picture of the guy with him, and apparently Miggy said, "Yeah, I'm fit, I'm fine." But you know what I mean? He probably didn't understand what the guy was saying. It's probably just, are you going to be playing on the weekend like Miggy? Yes,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect to see Miggy involved personally.
Again, not to sound like a stuck record, coming back from injury, it's hard to see dropping Murphy for Almiron after the injury. Well, I mean, the way Murphy's been playing as well, he's been playing really well. Again, it would be, if anything, from the bench. But I mean, it's still important, because we talk about depth a lot. In the, even if he wasn't to make any changes to the winning formula that's been going the last couple of games, to have that sort of depth and strength on the bench just gives the other team, especially Man U, something to think about. Because in the final, which obviously we've got to talk about, with playing Man U, their strength on the bench compared to ours was a big factor.
Yeah,
it was a really big factor. When you were looking at the caliber of players they were bringing off compared to us, there was a bit of a gap in.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, Kat. I want to get. I'm conscious of all these ads. I'm very much anti-gambling, and I don't like these on the screen. I'm going to have to pick better web browsers for next time. I am not sponsored by Paddy Power in any way. I do not endorse gambling whatsoever. So please ignore those. I just want to move on to the Man U. I made some notes from I think it was the Manchester Gazette yesterday, that said on the players missing that Garnacho had an ankle injury and his return was unknown. That Martial could possibly return on Sunday. Ericsson was still a few weeks away. Van der Beek, not that you would get a game, apparently isn't back until pre-season. Said Rashford suffered a knock, possibly return against Newcastle, which means he definitely will play against Newcastle. And Varane, exactly the same knock, possibly Newcastle. I think Varane will also feature against Newcastle. And if we go to the Chronicle website, please, Chronicle, get rid of your horrible gambling ads. They've predicted the Man U lineup to be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, and Shaw. Then they've gone McTominay, Fred, Anthony, and Fernandez, and then they have Rashford and Weghorst. So,
yeah, I mean,
we'll move on to the lineup in a second. I just want to get these screens off. Wait, what was this? This was, yeah. If we quick look at form. Man U is draw, win, loss, draw. Newcastle is draw, loss, win. And I will leave that on the screen because that is the previous run-ins. But we'll talk about, what do you feel like we've just mentioned there, the Man U lineup, Newcastle lineup. What do you make of that? I'll let you continue now that I've got rid of them horrific ads.
Yeah, I mean, one name that we all knew wasn't going to be playing as well, which is probably the biggest and best for us real loss from Manchester United, is Casemiro. He's, for me, one of, if not their best player. He plays in that. He plays that engine room, which sort of normally goes unnoticed, but hasn't with him. He gets on the score sheet as well. And again, to take it back to the final, he was somebody from them who had a really good game and seems to constantly have good games. So him not being in the starting lineup is a massive thing. Hetherington being out, another one of their best players. But like we said before, the strength in depth they've got Man U. Even when they're losing those players, you've got somebody of a really high caliber that's going to come in and take the place of them. So it's I don't know, in the build up to this, I've been really confident that we're going to get a win, and I
feel
still
confident.
am. I still am. It's just I don't know if it's nerves, but it wanes a little bit the closer you get. But yeah, I mean, their starting lineup, if Rashford plays, he's a thorn in the side of every team. But especially against us, he seems to really enjoy getting on the score sheet. As for Martial, he's another player that likes to get on the score sheet against Newcastle as well. So I would prefer to see him not involved because I do actually rate Martial. I know we've been linked with him a couple of times. Would I go there now? I'd probably put Isaac ahead of him, possibly Wilson as well. But for a player that to bring in when you've got a few injuries, lets you know the depth in that particular Man U squad. As for us, I just really can't see him changing the team from the game against Notts Forest. I think that with the exceptions of possibly Maxi.
That's what I was going to get on to. There has been a lot of talk on YouTube and Twitter about Joe Linton coming in for Maxi.
Yeah, and I think that will be the change. The only change as well. I think you'll see Joe Linton probably go out on the left this time, and I think that's why he prefers to play. And I remember when we first got Joe Linton, and he was going through that really bad spell, and everybody, probably rightfully so, was getting on his back for his performances. And I always used to say, look, well, we're playing him out of position, we're playing him as a striker. He needs to be playing on the left, because the couple of times that he did play on the left, he always seemed to play better. I'm not going to say.
I think everyone used out of position apart from Steve Bruce. everyone else and the dog seemed to know that wasn't he wasn't a number 9, apart from the Newcastle United at the time manager.
That's because Steve Bruce was out of position, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was
good one. Playing... Good quip there, Kevin.
Thank you. Yeah, he was. But now, he's a completely different player. The same we'll have to say he's been Eddie Howard. And with exceptions of up front, I'd be happy to play most positions in that midfield. But the engine room and the left-hand side is where he's best suited. With his injury doubts over St. Maximin, he definitely won't take a chance, especially against a team like Man U. And he just really favours Joe Linton, rightfully so. So I think you'll definitely see him coming for St. Maximin. I think you'll see Murphy start again on the right hand side, and I've got no qualms with that. No problems with that whatsoever.
No.
It's a step up for him as well. If he does start, starting against a team like Manchester United is different to starting, no insults intended, but against a Nottingham Forest or a Wolves. It's a different caliber. So I'll be interested to see how he sort of performs with that step up as well.
Yeah. The only annoying thing is we don't have, like say with Miggy, we don't have that to bring off off the bench. Ignore the dog barking. Yeah, we don't have that. But I mean, if Gordon is fit, I suppose we've got Gordon to bring off the bench, fresh legs.
Yeah, I mean,
and Maxi, obviously, if he starts with Joe Linton, we've got we've got the possibility of rejigging the formation mid-game, of changing lots of things.
Yeah, and I think in the game at the weekend, I think a good start's important, isn't it? When you're playing these top 4 clubs, a good, we need to start the game the way we normally start games, on the front foot straight away, to give them something to think about, because Man U they only need a small spell to score a couple of goals. They've got a lot of quality in front of goal. They've got a lot of quality in the final third. And if we can get at them straight away and rattle them a little bit, and we can cut those spells down to that short spells, then I think we could have a really good time at St James's Park on Sunday.
Yeah. I've been looking at the size of their defence, as in height, obviously. I just think Isak could really cause them problems, especially if Murphy is whipping them in as well. So obviously we know Miggy likes to cut in. He always favours cutting in, whereas Murphy's more willing to whip them in. I think we could cause them all sorts of problems. And obviously, as you've seen, Man U can be got at. They have got like a hiding in them. Do you know what I mean? And especially Casemiro not playing is huge. So I am really confident. But then again, I was confident about the cup final.
See, I wasn't, and I think I wasn't. I was trying to be, but I was trying to convince myself to be. And I think I said to you on the way down, I'd had a feeling that we might get beat 2-0, and I know that is nerves as well. Excuse any banging you may hear. It's getting some work done upstairs. It's annoying. But yeah, this time, it might be. I don't know. It might be. You never know. I'll see if I can sneak a camera in or something. But with this particular game, I feel different. I do feel confident. Just a couple of factors, not just with the anything to do with form or anything like that. I think it's going to be an absolute cauldron at St James's Park on Sunday. I'm sure Wolf Flags will have something up the sleeve for this. The players are going to have revenge on the mind. The fans are going to have revenge on the mind. I'm sure Eddie Howe has been saying the right things all this week and over the past 2 weeks, in fact, with the players that he's had as well. But this week, especially, he'll be letting the players know how important this is, firstly, for the league, and secondly, for the fans, just to have a little bit of is it repentance? Is that the word I'm looking for? Possibly.
No, you repent against your sins, Kevin. You should know that, being a Catholic boy.
No longer, but that's a talk for another day. Revenge. We'll say revenge. Yeah, I think revenge is going to be the word and the feeling around St James's Park. And if we can, like I say, if we can get at them from the beginning, that place is going to be shaken. And I've got a good feeling for all of those factors involved. And then you can go on to form.
I do like 4:30 kickoffs as well. And I don't think I've had a drink since Wembley. And I've been having a hell of a toothache and just feeling like shite. And I'm thinking, solid, if I'm feeling like shite at the minute, because I'm not meant to drink because of my medication, but I might just have a drink on Sunday and then solid, I'll feel like shite Monday, Tuesday anyway. I think I'm going to, because I know for a fact the stadium is going to be rocking.
I really think it is. And it's a cliche, isn't it? The 12th man. But especially at St James's Park, what can be. So, and it's not even like you have to send out a plea to the fans. I think most fans who are going to that game on Sunday are probably feeling the same way.
I think every single fan is feeling that way. Every single fan going there wants to a win more than the normal. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels a bit more personal. It feels like we need to have some form of redemption. Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like we need. So yeah, I do see, and I at Wembley when we went down to 2 just before the break, I kind of knew it was over then. I didn't have faith in we're coming back at Wembley. I just didn't. And I stayed and supported and cheered and but I think even if we're conceded 1 or 2 at St James, not that I want that to happen by any frigging means, but I do have faith that the noise in the second half, I think the fans would be on their feet all the way through. and I think we would force one back, and then it would be game on. So I have much more confidence in the fact if we do concede, that won't be game over, whereas it may have done under previous regimes. I have every faith in this team, and at the minute I'm just absolutely in love with Alex Isak.
Yeah, I mean, we're having that telekinesis again because that's why I wanted to move on to next as well. He's really forming a relationship with the fans and his teammates at the minute. His celebration after that penalty was, I think I've watched it about 50 times. The way he sort of runs over to the crowd, and you know, you can tell that. Hang on a second, yeah, he's really starting to catch the Newcastle fever here. He's starting to feel what it's like to be almost
Adored.
idolized as a centre forward at Newcastle United.
Yeah,
And that feeling when you score a goal for Newcastle United, right, is, I would imagine, one of the best feelings, and especially if you're now a fan favourite. So I think he's got the thirst for it. And I think he'll be one of the players with revenge on his mind. He didn't get to start at Wembley. Now I'm almost 99.9% sure he'll start on Sunday, and there'll be he's certainly one of the players that will want to give the fans that sort of revenge feeling, and
yeah.
I think he is our player to watch on
Oh,
Sunday.
without a doubt, we will 100%. But any knock strains will have you in training. Will start. There's no question about it. That is his place right now.
Yeah, and who's going to take it off him? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we want Callum Wilson to be back to his best, but you know, on form, like you know, he's unstoppable. He brings so much to the
He
game.
offers more than Wilson, though.
He
He
does.
offers more in more positions. He does offer more. I love Callum Wilson. But Isak is a different player. They're two different players, and Isak doesn't just offer goals. He offers more than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, I mean, and it's a shame that Maxi isn't playing for this reason. Where the game against Wolves, them two linked up really well. He seems to hold the line very well and then break the line while staying on side, and he's got a bit of pace there as well. And with the football at his feet, he's got really good feet as well. He can take a player on. He can shoot from outside the box. He can shoot from inside the box. He proved in the game against Wolves that he's got a head on him as well. He's calm in front of goal. He doesn't flap or he doesn't overthink. Seems to have just the right instinct. So yeah, a fan of the Alexander Isak. I am.
Well, I was watching just because international breaks, I was watching loads of stuff, but I watched all his goals that he's ever scored in professional football for his former clubs, and he can take a free kick as well, lad.
Can he?
He really can. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah. He offers so much. Like, he's got so much in his locker, and I think he's just getting started.
He is just getting started.
Yeah.
He is just getting started, and I think I mentioned it was a few weeks ago on a video we're talking about Isak and how when he played in games he didn't look out of place and he looked comfortable on there. Where he's starting to take that to the next level now, where he's not just out of place, he's not just feeling comfortable, he's now starting to stand out with his performances. He's putting himself in the upper echelons of the players that we have here, and let's have some more of them, please.
Right, well, let's bring the mood down a bit. Let me just bring... This is the last 10 head-to-heads. I will caveat this in a moment, so you can see out of the last 10, we have won only once, 2 draws, 7 defeats. But I will caveat that with this is a different Newcastle United. And if we look since Eddie Howe took over, the only game we've lost against Man United was the Cup. We've drew both the other 2. That is home and away we drew. And the only defeat was the League Cup. It is a different Newcastle United to previous. So the safe form goes out the window. This is obviously historic, and a lot of these results were, well, almost all 7 of these results were from the Ashley era. This is a different Newcastle United.
It's
But
an
yeah,
unrecognisable one.
Yeah, but form against Man U, as we know, even before, actually, has never been great. We have had some good results against them, but it's never been great. But yeah, this is a different team right now.
And it's got the potential of being the game of the weekend, I think. It's when you look at it, and is a game just on paper, it looks like a good game, but with everything sort of riding on it as well, this could be the platform for us in sort of getting that top 4 for the end of the season. We go above them with a win, and that changes the landscape. It probably changes the way that everybody else looks at us. Because I mean, I've been watching some sort of rival YouTube YouTube videos, rivals as in rival teams, and there's a lot of them who are no longer fancying the chances of Newcastle finishing in the top 4. And do you know what? I like that. I prefer that. I prefer that. I prefer to go under the radar or even be somewhat of an underdog. The radar, go under the radar. I don't think we can go under the radar now, but to be almost the underdog or the least fancied takes a lot of pressure off. And when there was no pressure on us, that October-November period, and we were like, well, look, we're just here. We're not really here to be in the top 4. We are in the minute. We're just playing with football. If we can get back to that sort of mindset, then yeah, I can see we're doing it.
Well, there's another big game this weekend, City Liverpool. I mean, so it could be a case at the end of the weekend we are third, chasing City, or it could be we remain 4th or even drop to 5th with Liverpool on our tail. So quite a big game for on Sunday. Not to mention this week we have another 2 games, so it's going to be a big week for the channel. I believe we're going to be doing 6 videos this week.
It is.
But I'm just hoping we'll come back on Monday with big smiles on our middle-aged faces and celebrating Newcastle victory.
And I think we will. I hope we will. And if we don't, it's not the end of the world. If you get beat off Manchester United, there's no shame in that. There's plenty of teams have been. There's plenty of teams will do again.
Yeah. And I mean, even a draw would keep her in 4th and keep her at bay from Spurs for now. No, sorry. Yeah, is that right? Do we take over Spurs? Won't we?
It depends on Spurs' result, I think.
Right, but we've still got 2 games in hand on them.
2 games in hand on them, yeah. So if they get beat at the weekend and we win, we will overtake them into 3rd.
We'll know better by the end of next weekend. That's when.
If we beat Man U and Tottenham win, Man U go down to 5th.
Does it? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch the Goldbridge video for that.
Aye, yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, before we go on, there was a bit of other news.
Come on, then let's do this. We'll do the score predictions.
Yeah, right. So, did you see about the Live Golf thing in the Premier League?
Yeah.
The Premier League.
That was a couple of weeks ago, that, Kev.
Richard, but it came up again because Richard
the Masters thing,
got questioned at the House of Commons about whether they were being investigated, and he says he couldn't say one way or the other, which means no. And you know what it is? The rest of the league are shitting themselves, aren't they? They're shitting themselves. It's like, even when you look on like other fan pages and stuff like that, and they're like, they're not going to have the ownership. And listen, the only thing that was stopping our ownership going through was the piracy.
But he can't come out and say that. As much as everybody knows, he can't just go to the House of Commons and go, look, man, you fucking mug, it's all about money. With the Premier League, do you think we give a fuck about morals? It was about the moolah. That's everybody knows what it was. The reason it didn't go, everybody knows.
Yeah, exactly. And to think that they hadn't done the other checks. So I'm not saying that there isn't some sort of connection between the Saudi government and PIF. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, maybe it's hidden. But they would have
Everything would have
known
been
about it.
known. Of
They would
course,
have
it would have
known
been
about it.
known.
Mm-hmm.
God,
And
that lawyered up to the eyeballs. That all of this shit would have been known from all parties, from all sides. Every facet would have been known. It would have been known. The only thing holding up that deal was money. Was the piracy issue. That was the only thing.
yeah, and Mark Ulbridge,
Oh,
I look. Well, do you know, I like his channel, and I do find it entertaining. But he did put something out the other day about the hold up of the takeover concerning Qatar, and say it was something along the lines of,
wouldn't
just
it be
because it's
different if it was Arsenal or Newcastle?
yeah. So
Yeah,
he was like,
it
oh,
was
what is
18
it's
months
only
to
Man
fucking
U that
sell
gets
in.
hold up. I'm like, Mark, sorry, it took over 18 months to
Oh.
get ours over the line, right? And it nearly went away. And you know what I mean? It nearly went away. So there's
Oh, it
definitely
does me tits in. I only watch him for his accidental partridges, which is more and more. He just is a partridge, and obviously I love Alan Partridge and Awkward Fucks, and he's just he does me fucking nappering like.
I mean, I do find him entertaining to watch, but some of the things he says does beg a belief. It's yeah, as if there was something against Manchester United. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but it's quite the opposite.
yeah,
Like,
I've got no time for that. I've got no. I hate watching. I do it with other people. I watch them just to get fucking annoyed. You know what I mean? I do it myself. Me missus said something. It was last night, the night before. She went, "Why do you do this to yourself? You're just angry and hateful. You're such a hateful person."
I mean, that's true, but
It is. Now, look, I think 95% of the general public are just fucking idiots. Like they just get on me tits. You know what I
we're
mean?
idiots, Osai. We're
Or,
idiots. We're
I know,
probably
and
high up on that idiot list.
I'm openly a hypocrite. Openly, I'll admit I'm a hypocrite completely. I don't hide the fact. But the general public, the majority, not the ones watching, you are all fucking wicked. But the majority of the general public are fucking morons, and they get on me tits. Right, Kevin, score predictions.
Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm going for the same score prediction I've had in my head for the last 2 weeks. I'm the closer the match gets. Like I keep saying, the nerves kick in. I'm thinking myself, oh, it's a bit over ambitious, but I'm sticking with it. 2-0. 2.
I was going to say 2-0, but then a little part of me goes, "Fuck it, just do something a bit different and go with your comrade." I'm going to say 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. And I'm going to say Isak brace yet again. I got that right last video. I'm going to go for another brace, and I'm going to go for again the same. I didn't get it right last time, but I'm going to stick with what I said last time. Brace from Isak and a corker from Willaquinho.
Well, you've picked the two same scorers I had in mine. I fancied Willock getting on the score sheet for no other reason than I would just like to see it. And
Underrated as fuck, Willock. Like.
Yeah, and Isaac just because of his form and he's enjoying scoring at the moment. So
Yeah,
let's hope either one of our predictions comes true.
It is. I need to get him in. I need to get Isak back in me FPL dream team. I had him in last week, but I was using me free hit chip, so it moved back to Nketiah, which I need to get rid of. And I'm going to get Isak in, and I might even bloody captain him.
I've already got him in. Aye.
And I might even captain him.
Aye. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Wicked, Kevin. Well, I will see you on Sunday. Maybe it's meet a bit earlier for a pint or two.
Yeah, well, I'm working on the night time, so it'll have to be a shandy for me, but I'll still meet up, aye?
I'll persuade you to drink. I'm sure you will. If we're beating 3-0, you'll be on the booze. I was going to say you'll be on the beak. I didn't know what that means.
You'll be on the beak, son.
Now what that means. Never even heard of that. But not at our age, lads. You'll be on the booze if we win 3-0. Of course you will.
I might have a shandy.
So, guys, once again, thank you for the continued support. These are proper double cushy, absolute rakers. We love you to bits. But loads of you are still watching every video and you're not subscribed. Just click that little subscribe button. Costs you nishki. No, not a penny. Just hit that subscribe button and it makes me and Kevin, 240-odd-year-old blokes, really happy. Just hit it. Hit the like button so other fans see it. Comment, please comment, because that helps with. Put your score predictions down. Nobody's predicted the correct score and scorer yet. First person to do that, I am going to get you an absolutely wicked prize. I promise you. First person to predict the score and scorers will get an amazing prize. And you will see more of us this week. You will see, I believe, this is the first of 6 videos in the space of 7 days. So we will be back again on Monday with the review of the Man U game. Hopefully with big fuck off cheesy grins on my faces. And you're going to be seeing loads more of our faces this week. Busy week for Newcastle United. Crucial, you could say, probably one of the biggest weeks of the season so far. So yeah, please share the video, share our channel. Look after yourself. Let's see you all there on Sunday. Make some noise. Let's get the place bouncing. And we'll speak to you all afterwards on Monday. See you later.
Come on.